So you've got an idea for a business, right? But you're probably thinking, I need a ton of cash, or I need some revolutionary, never-before-seen concept. Well, I'm here to tell you to think again. It's actually more accessible than ever to launch a profitable side hustle. And today, we're going to break down serial entrepreneur Chris Kerner's entire playbook for doing just that, often with less than $500. All right, let's get into it.
Okay, but before we even touch on strategy or specific business ideas, we have to talk about the number one thing that stops most people cold. It's that voice in your head, right? The fear of what other people are going to think. Like Chris Kerner says, you have to get to a point where the pain of your problem is way bigger than how much you care about what people think. That, right there, is the real starting line.
All right, so here's the game plan for this breakdown. First, we're going to lock in that crucial mindset. Then we'll dive into a pretty counterintuitive strategy, copying, not creating. After that, I'm going to walk you through, step by step, how to test out your ideas for literally $0. And we'll wrap it all up with some specific business ideas you can start, sorted by budget, and then a final, honest reality check on whether this whole entrepreneurship thing is actually for you. So, first up, the mindset. You got to get this right. This is the foundation, and it is absolutely non-negotiable. Seriously, before you pick a tool or a name or even a product, you have to get your head in the right space. Because honestly, this is where most journeys end before they even get started. You know, for Chris Kerner, this all started when he was just 9 years old. He wanted this awesome red Schwinn bicycle, but his parents couldn't afford it. He lived near a golf course, and he saw all these lost golf balls. And that was his light bulb moment. He started collecting them, washing them, and selling them from a little plywood stand. And that simple act taught him something huge. Business isn't some big, scary, mystical thing for geniuses. It's just seeing a need and taking action.
And that idea of just taking simple action leads us perfectly into our second section, which is maybe the most powerful and surprising one of all. Copy, don't create. Yeah, you heard me right. This strategy completely flips that whole myth of needing a brand new idea on its head and gives you a massive, massive advantage.
So here's the thing. When you see a competitor out there, your first instinct might be to get discouraged. Don't. Get excited. Seriously. They have already spent their own time and their own money proving that people will pay for what you want to do. You can even use free tools like the Web Archive to literally go back in time and see how their website and pricing changed over the years. This means you get to skip all that trial and error. You start where they are today. And this next story, it is the perfect example of this copy, don't create strategy in action. When Kerner was running a phone repair business in college, he got one single phone call that changed everything. It led to a multi-million-dollar company, all because he decided to copy instead of just sell. So this is what the guy on the phone said. He wanted to buy all of Kerner's broken iPhone screens. A stranger, offering to buy a whole box of trash, basically, for $3 a pop. Why? Well, because they could be remanufactured in China and resold. Now, most people would have just taken the quick cash, right? But Kerner's immediate thought was, wait a minute, I need to be in that business. I'm just going to copy what that guy who called me is doing. And just look at what happened. He copied the entire model, he went on Alibaba, found his own suppliers, and just applied the marketing skills he already had. The business exploded. It grew to $2 million in its first year, then $5 million, then $9 million in revenue before he successfully sold it. This had nothing to do with a new idea. It was all about perfectly executing on an idea that was already proven to work. Okay, so now you've got the right mindset, and you've got this powerful strategy. But how do you actually test your own idea without risking all your savings? Let's get super tactical. This next section is all about how to validate your business concept without spending a single dime. All right, let's walk through a real-world example. Let's say you have an idea for a new brand of creatine specifically for women, but you're stuck. Should you make it a gummy or a powder? How in the world do you figure out which one people actually want before you go and manufacture 1,000 units? Check this out. Here's the zero-cost method. It's so simple. Step 1. You just hop on a free AI image generator and create some realistic-looking product photos for both the gummy and the powder versions. Step 2. You post free ads for both of them on a place like Facebook Marketplace. Remember, the goal isn't actually to sell anything yet. You're just trying to see what gets clicks. And Step 3. Track the data. A super simple spreadsheet is all you need. Just log the views, the clicks, and any messages you get for each ad. And just like that, within a few hours, you'll have actual real-world data. So in this hypothetical test, maybe the powder version gets 5 times the clicks and 7 times the messages. Boom! You just found out where the real market demand is, and it didn't cost you a penny. This is how you let the market, not just your gut feeling, make your big decisions for you.
All right, now for the part you've probably been waiting for. Let's get into Section 4, the Launchpad. We're going to look at specific, vetted business ideas you can start today, and we'll break them down by how much money you actually have to get started.
First up, let's talk about what you can do with $500. Now, you might be thinking that's not a lot, but honestly, in today's world with all the free tools and trials out there, it can go a surprisingly long way.
Okay, with $500, you've got some really solid options. First, you could offer AI implementation services for small local businesses. They're desperate for this stuff. Second, you could try drop servicing. Think of yourself as the middleman. You build a nice-looking website for, say, garage door repair, you get the customer, and then you just subcontract the actual work to a local pro. Third, you could build those little niche directory websites. And finally, yeah, you could even buy and stock a used vending machine. All of these are totally accessible.
Okay, let's double the budget. What can you do with $1,000? Well, this starts to unlock opportunities that are a bit more scalable or maybe require a physical asset.
A fantastic idea in this range is a wedding rental business. I mean, you can build a wedding arch for a couple $100 and then rent it out for $1,000 per wedding. It's wild. Another great one is a hyperlocal email newsletter. You use that $1,000 on some Facebook ads to get your first 1,000 subscribers, and then you start selling sponsorships to local businesses that want to reach them.
And finally, let's jump up to the $5,000 level. Now we're talking. This is where you can start to explore ideas that have the potential for more passive income streams.
Believe it or not, with this kind of budget, you can actually start getting into real estate, specifically small RV parks. Now hold on, that $5,000 isn't for the down payment. It's for the really important stuff, the due diligence, like getting inspections done. Here's the magic trick. You can often buy the park using a strategy called seller financing. This is where the current owner basically acts as the bank for you. They let you pay them back over time, using the profits that the RV park is already making. It's an incredibly powerful way to get a cash-flowing asset with very little of your own money up front.
Okay, let's bring it all home now with our final section. And this is a really important reality check. We've talked all about the how, but now we really need to ask if. Is this life actually for you?
You know, the online narrative, which you see on Instagram, it sells this dream of total freedom, of being your own boss. But let's be real, the reality is often the complete opposite. You're not your own boss, you answer to everybody, your clients, your team, your investors. It's not freedom, it's a ton of responsibility and a whole lot of uncertainty. The key here is just understanding that trade-off before you decide to take the leap. And that really brings us to this final, powerful thought from Kerner. Entrepreneurship is not a solution to all your problems. It's just a different set of problems that you choose to have. You're trading the stability of a 9-to-5 for the crazy volatility and huge potential of building something yourself. And the only person who can answer if that trade-off is worth it, well, that's you.